Hello everyone and welcome back to Barcelona KeenCon, as we've got two winners bracket matches round 3 out the way, and we're now going to progress to the third between the likes of Maxter and RMV. I'm Lethal, joining me is Ince as always, and I think like in this matchup it's going to be a true test for RMV. He looked very good at QuakeCon, even though he did get knocked out in the losers bracket early. He had some strong promise and some strong showings throughout the course of the 2 matches he played.
Yeah, I mean, RMV is a player with a really strong game, really strong combat skill. He's still very inexperienced, but he's pretty much at the place that Maxter was, you know, just a few years ago. And Maxter has been climbing a lot, so maybe it might be some sort of inspiration for him. So I want to see how it's gonna go. Both are like sort of new to like the high-level competitive Quake. Maxter has a lot more experience now, but RMV, I think he can get there as well. We'll see.
I think it's just incredible how much Max has progressed over the last few years. The fact that, you know, to gain that much dueling experience and be able to express it with his aggression and his style, it's just something which you don't normally see in this level of play. And the fact that he just needs to find that boundary to break through that barrier for a top 2. You can see that Rafa and Razy do have, like players like them do have answers to counter what he wants to do and the style he wants to play, but he needs to try and find that niche to try and break through. But before we delve into all that shenanigans and go through everything about RMV and Maxter, let's have a look at an interview between the 2 players.
Hello, my name is Maximiliano Gonzalez, aka Maxter. I'm a professional player currently playing for the 40 Gods. I started to play Quake when I was around 5 years old, and then I started to play professionally when I was around 22 years old. There was a gap, really huge gap there, because I was playing other games until I find that competing on a game that I can be by myself, it's more attractive to me and it fits me really well. I think that this kind of events like KeenCon is doing right now, the fact that it's the 2nd edition and now we have the opportunity to just have pro players, and as well we count now with a LAN server, I think it's just a really huge step in between the 1st and 2nd edition. And I think this is a really huge opportunity for us to show how good can we do as an event organizer. Well, to be honest, as favorite Quake player, probably that one might not be here in the tournament, but that one will be Rafa, but inside the tournament probably will be Chain, because I really like how disciplined he is. A favorite map and champion, I would say that probably Corrupted Kid and Slash are my favorites in terms of maps and champions.
Hi, I'm Reese. I'm 20 years old and I play Quake Champions for Clique Esports and always trying to improve at playing Quake. I think the first time I played it I was like 3 on my dad's PC. And I was playing it on and off from then because I really enjoyed just like messing about in TDMs, for example. It's a really nice venue. My little white body is not used to the heat, but I'm adjusting. But like I say, it's a really nice venue. Just to do my best is all I can really ask, and to have fun at the end of the day. My favorite Quake player, probably, I don't know, it's hard. There's so many nice players, but I think probably Venga or Dranis. My favorite map is Deep Embrace, and my favorite champion, it used to be Athena, but I think it's growing to be Nyx right now.
Well, that's all the talking done, but let's get the players on the stage to start off with. The first player coming out, Maxter.
And the second player coming out is opponent RMV.
See Maxter coming out a little bit of swag already, but again, this is going to be a true test for RMV here to test his skills, to see how he's progressed during the off-season ever since QuakeCon, and to see what he can do against Maxter in this matchup. It should be interesting in itself, considering, like, you know, the first time we actually saw RMV compete on LAN in QuakeCon a few months ago, and to see how well Maxter can do against that.
Yes, RMV has been progressing a lot lately, and he's been practicing more and more. And as he said, I want to see how he progresses as a player. And this kind of experiences is why he's coming to LANs now. He managed to go to the Quake World Championship in Romania. Now this another LAN is just going to be another stepping stone. That's what you need to progress, and he's taking it very seriously as well.
Yeah, it certainly has done. RMV has progressed massively and improved massively as a whole, especially over the last few months. In particular in June, he started to shine a lot more, not just through challenges, but just overall in terms of his play style. And you can really see how he's been able to breach some of those tiers. It was just breaking the wall to get through that skill boundary, and he's managed to do that more and more. And it's been nice to see that kind of progression from him. Some people will be in a still stone for quite a while before they can figure out what they can do in order to break that next barrier, but it seems to be breaking them again and again, and of course be looking to continue that hopefully next year as well as this event. But again, like I said before, I wouldn't say this is a tall order, but it would be a true test for him to really show what he can do and make an impact in this matchup.
Yeah, definitely. And we have the picks and bans in front of us now. First map will be Deep Embrace, RMV going with the Ranger, maxter with the Slash, probably inspired by Raze's own Slash. Second map, Vale of Pnath, Galena versus Keel. Interesting as well. And third map is going to be the Awoken Nyx versus Strog. So in the matchups, I would say that RMV has kind of like the explosive champions, right? Because Ranger, not exactly like Slash is probably more explosive in the playstyle, but RMV is the one that can, literally blow up maxter with his abilities. So RMV's style would be a lot more ability based than maxter, and maxter's style is all three champions favor distance, right? Slash favors distance, Galena is gonna favor distance a lot compared to Keel, and then Strog against Nyx, Strog can kind of do it all. So if it goes to third map, it's a really big advantage for maxter. So I think RMV, if he wants to win this game, he has to do it in the first two maps, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the scale ban was straight away from RMV. Doesn't really want to take any chances there. But the Nyx versus the Strog matchup, if it does go to a final, it should be an interesting one in itself. And yeah, you saw the Athena ban straight away, didn't you, on Deep Embrace? We've seen Athena been heavily abused on Deep Embrace time and time again, and doesn't really want to get into that stepping stone. But we're going to start from Max's POV to see what he can do with the Slash. And you said before that you could say Raze introduced the Slash, especially on stream. He played with the Slash quite a few times in ranked and just in scrims, and it's interesting to see Slash now utilised a bit more on Deep Embrace. There's a little bit of a scuffle there already as Max is just standing his ground and waiting for RMV to try and at least deal a little bit of damage from down below. Good first rail there. He's just going to look to back away just to see exactly when he's going to try and approach. But RMV just holding that top mid position, but he is railable. Needs to be careful now as Max just pushing on up to try to stop and get for the Mega. Doesn't get there in time. But you can see there's a good ult from RMV to at least scarper away with that Mega.
Yeah, RMV managed to get both of the items. He hasn't managed to do any damage onto maxter yet. There is his first rail, but so far most of the damage has been going in the way of maxter. And maxter plays a very solid game usually with position and with damage. He's very conservative. Now he takes damage and he's very good at dealing damage without taking any.
Oh, I was just about to say Max has got one of the best rails in the business.
RMV with just finding an angle there. Managed to get the first frag. The heavy though is going to go in the way of maxter. So RMV, he does have the Ranger. He doesn't need to, play that long range rail heavy game. He can just try to get close range, but maxter trying to bully him away from the bottom light, and RMV is so low HP, and maxter finds another angle somehow there to tie up the game. And RMV spawns at the Mega. He should be able to get it. maxter trying to come back and get a kill, but not quite. Will RMV be very aggressive now? Okay, no, he decides to just, I just have the machine gun. I don't want to use the orb just yet. Just gonna get the weapons, get position on top. Now he could actually use the orb, he does, and he gets really close, but maxter with the correct weapon choice. And already getting damage from spawn as well.
So RMV trying to pick him up from the machine gun, but doesn't really get much damage done there. Maxter coming up with the LG. I still can't believe the rails we saw earlier, that drive-by and then the one through the murder hole was just absolutely ridiculous. We're just 2 minutes in at the moment. Heavy is coming up any second now as Maxter does manage to bag it, but the problem is RMV is on the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of stack. And you can see just trying to stay alive. Maxter knows just a matter of time before RMV pushes or at least tries to rotate around, just pretending that he wasn't there, and just see if it can at least pick him off at the tri-bar. It's just a matter of how, and there we have it. That's the third frag to Maxter's name, and a nice spawn rail on top of that.
Yeah, we were discussing earlier how focused maxter would be in his games, because he's doing a lot in this event. But so far he seems to be very focused, especially on his rail. He's hitting all of the shots that he has to hit. Well, as I say that, he misses one, obviously.
Caster's curse, you see, it's just
I'm sorry, Maxter.
So you should be. There's now 29 HP left until Maxter will get cleaned up, but does get the 2 health bubbles. May be able to get the Mega here and stay alive. Will he be able to? Yes, he does. It seems like RMV is completely backed away. Heavy is up in the next 10 seconds. Maxter has recovered and is in a prime position here to contest for this Heavy. And as I say that though, of course, the rocket the rail earlier did not help. 22 HP. Oh, that would have been so important if he bagged that last rail. Looking to recover instead and just give up this Heavy.
Yeah, the way Maxter, he pins him against the LG platform and actually managed to get another frag as the Mega is coming up. Good thing for RMV is that Maxter doesn't quite have much tech just yet. That's a good rail. Can he do another? Oh, very important usage of the ability there. But RMV managed to still find an angle, gets his second frag as Heavy is about to spawn and Maxter unable to challenge for the time being.
It wasn't the easiest of shots there for RMV. Does take him down as far as a rocket just to show a little bit of map presence, but also just to stop him from potentially rotating over towards that lighter top mid. Good first rail. So RMV struggle to try and contest his Mega, literally going to give it up. Perfectly understandable considering the position he was in. And now Maxter eats up all the lights as well. Good first rail there from RMV just to do a bit of chip damage to keep Maxter at bay, but the problem is that's not going to help too much, especially with that Heavy. But good rails again from RMV. Sadly, after that orb, he couldn't clean that up, but it was still very good from RMV to try and counteract.
Still very close frags that Maxter isn't really getting any clean frags, and that's in RMV still keeping the pressure. However, not hitting anything there. No, he falls. And he will surely die in here without even doing any damage. So Maxter can now finally start extending his lead a little bit more. So the pressure now is all on RMV to come back into the game. And Maxter just keeps landing the damage again and again, even going for a quick 180 there just to get that finishing blow.
Yeah, all style points, one of the two here, and hits the first one. He's going to try and hit the second. Yes, he does. 8-2. We're just past the halfway stage. 6 frag deficit for RMV. Maxter's just picked up the Mega. Heavy's going to be up in the next 5 seconds. He does have time to contest it if he wants, but now that he knows that RMV is in a slightly closer position, he's going to try and go for it anyway, knowing he's going to be down below. Perfect stuff from Maxter. Really well thought out and planned, and is looking to continue with his extremely aggressive play.
And RMV forced to use the orb just to survive for an extra 15 seconds. Maxter's not really giving him much space. He's scooping up all of the items for himself, and every time there's an angle, he can be... Oh, that's a great flick by Maxter. Doesn't quite hit the spawn rail, but... Okay, nice from RMV can actually get this Heavy now, but Maxter just doing so much damage again and again. Even if he gives you an item, he's gonna make sure he pays for it.
Certainly will do, but there's going to be a little bout here.
He doesn't give you items,
line.
He sells you items.
Yeah,
because you always pay somehow.
If you're going to pick up a Heavy or Mega, expect to take like 180 damage at some stage. It kind of feels like with some of the rails he's been hitting, it's been remarkable how Maxter's been performing in his first or debut match here at KeenCon. Now just dives on down, trying to hit that rail and still manages to hit it. Maxter seems to be really on form. Finally, RMV takes him down, but that was ridiculous.
Yeah, somehow RMV is the one getting that kill, but those rail angles by Maxter are just out of this world. I think there is no more doubt about how, focused he actually is, because he's playing his best game.
Yeah, he certainly is indeed. Walker jumps up to top mid to see if he can get an angle, which he does not, but finds him anyway. Back away for the time being. The Mega's not going to be up for another 20 seconds. Heavy is up though, and of course Maxter will be able to pick that up. And yeah, RMV's just been struggling just a tad here, but with some of the rails and some of the angles and the drive points that Max has been hitting, who can blame him? Like, anyone would struggle at this stage, but he was trying to hide away, but yeah, he fell on him, and that was going to be, sadly for him, another frag for Maxter here. As RMV with the LG, just trying to circle around, pretending with the orb as well. It doesn't really get the cleanup he desired, but now can go for the Heavy instead.
Like, the plan for RMV should be, close out the distance so he can use that orb to its full advantage in the higher stack, but Maxter is perfectly keeping the game at, long range, and he's hitting all of the shots that he has to prevent RMV from closing the distance. So it's all the merit right now seems to be on Maxter's favor. It's not that RMV is playing bad, Max is just playing really, really well.
Yeah, he certainly is indeed. RMV's trying to contest this heavy. May have to settle for the Mega though instead though.
Max is just being so annoying with the constant damage, like just little bits of damage with the tribal here and there, just to show RMV that he knows exactly where he is.
Yeah, it's not even feeding information at this point, it's just like you said, just a sprinkle of damage here and there. It's going to add up eventually. 10 HP. Maxter.
Even to get a 25 HP bubble, it's a struggle, because Maxter is everywhere.
Makes you think, what's the point at that stage, considering, like, you know, everything he's trying to do to recover from previous engagements. It's Maxter left on 73 HP. If he gets the heavy, he should be okay here. Yes, he does. And still only got a minute 10 left remaining. RMV still trying to do what he can, still trying to settle into this series. Just hitting constant rails here. Finally gets cleaned up with the tri-bolt. Will be spawning on the rail, but of course Maxter doesn't want to risk anything as of yet, just focus on recovering first. But at this stage, 14-3. The score says it all, 15-3 now. Looking for the spawn on the LG, as RMV rightly so just delayed it a tad and also managed to stop himself in case he does hit. But these rails Maxter's hit is absolutely unbelievable. Just another one to the tally, 16-3, 3 HP, and picks up the heavy as well.
Yeah, there's not really a lot that RMV can do to prevent what Maxter is doing, unless Maxter actually stops hitting and hits a human amount for once. There's a Ranger type kill finally by RMV, but sadly now it's a little too late to form any type of feasible comeback. But good that he's getting, you know, a couple of motivational kills at the end of this map.
Yeah, it's probably a matchup he's not normally used to, especially with the slash on Deep Embrace. Is now Maxter hits the 17 mark. I don't think he's going to get another one until then. He could have done maybe hit that first rail, but all said and done here, it does mean that Maxter does take the first map in this series. We're going to see exactly how things are going to pan out in the next potential two, depending on the circumstances of RMV winning this second map, if he does or not. But so far, so good from Maxter. It looks like even though he has been, you know, very busy working here at KeenCon as well, it seems like he hasn't changed a single bit in terms of his style of play.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much practice time he actually got, but he's looking on form. And so far, the best players, the two players that have looked more on form have been Razy and him. I think those two have stood out from between everyone else so far.
Yeah, certainly has done. Of course, at the last KeenCon, Maxter did place second. At QuakeCon, he placed third. So he's had some incredible placements over the last few months, and he wants to try and add another podium finish in his, well, if he can. And so far, from what we've seen so far, he's been looking extremely good, especially for his debut here today.
Yeah, and now I'm seeing the rest of the map if he can keep this up. If he's gonna, you know, start eventually withering down his performance, or how it's gonna go.
Certainly will do. Just going through the replays at the moment, just basically being the Maxter show, considering some of the rails he hit. I can't believe the drive-by one he did on top of LG, and then the angle, literally the almost pixel peek through the murder hole was just absolutely phenomenal.
And every time the RMV tried to close the distance, Maxter was there to land a couple of shots just to prevent that distance from being close, because Ranger at close range is deadly. So Maxter playing the perfect counter for it. High mobility champion, good rail usage, very well positioned overall, just a nuisance to go against.
It's the position, as you rightly said, to the fact that he's keeping his distance, so that if he did orb, he wouldn't really, well, it would be more than prepared due to the amount of time it's going to take. So yeah, in terms of what you said about position, absolutely, I completely agree with that.
That rail there through the little hole in the grid.
Not something you normally see every day, but if there's one person to do it, I'm not surprised Maxter was the one to be able to do it. And look where we found him in bottom mid. He just felt like he ran, not that he ran out of ideas, but just ran out of ways to try and counteract exactly what Maxter was doing.
He definitely had a moment for himself to center himself again and try to think of a way to come back into this game. And Maxter, he did not let him have it.
No, didn't really give him much room to breathe, but that's what happens in Deep Embrace when the situation spirals out of control. And still though, RMV did have some good moments, you know, to trying to contest some of these items, but the problem is the way Maxter was playing, like in terms of his aim skill, just alone was just ridiculous in itself. But we'll be going to map 2 shortly. It's going to be an interesting matchup in itself. Of course, that scale was banned right at the very beginning.
Yeah, definitely. I expect to see the same type of gameplay by Maxter as he has to play. He's playing the Galena, so he wants to stay far away from the kill, I believe. He just doesn't want to get close, so he will definitely play the same type of game. And I wonder if RMV this time around he can actually close the distance, because Galena does not have as much of a mobility advantage over kill, as Slash does over Ranger, so a bit more of a chance for RMV. He has higher stack, same type of mobility. But I want to see if Maxter can play the same type of game, because it's not a map that lends himself a lot to railing, right?
Yeah.
So should be better for RMV.
Fight.
You'd think so, and hopefully he'll be able to take advantage of that, depending on the scenario he places himself in, as we're going to be starting off from Maxter's POV. Already picks up the Mega and the Light straight away, no mess around with the timings here. And now, he has an idea of where RMV is, just biding his time at the moment. Only got the rockets in the LG, he will pick up the rail later on, depending on
He doesn't have
the
to
situation.
even. He can just stay there and wait for Maxter. And I think RMV would be fine with waiting 10 minutes there.
He's cool. Yeah,
I'm not
he's
sure
fine
if
with that.
Maxter would be. Oh, Maxter getting the LG. So Maxter has all of the main weapons already. Oh, and he hits the rocket with his face. And he already missed out on the heavy, so all the items going in the way of RMV now. Can he capitalize on this? He's right behind him. And Maxter, his awareness, not quite all there yet.
And look at the stack difference, it's monumental in comparison. Picks up the heavy again, and he was just hoping to try and contest it, but yeah, just not going to happen at all. Just that kill pick, hits the first rail of it, does a little bit of chip, but the following Mega is coming up, but he's just going to stand there, of course, day in, day out.
Such a good push by RMV. He knew exactly what Maxter wanted to do, just took full advantage of the situation. And now every time Maxter's trying to go for a rail shot, RMV is there, so he seems to have adapted very well from the previous map. And he's definitely putting Maxter under a lot of pressure right now. This time around, I think he's railable, but he's the one actually landing the shot on Maxter. That was a clutch shot by RMV. And now he has a 3 frag buffer.
Oh,
well,
make that 4. Considering what we just saw there, RMV's really feeling it this time around. And Maxter's very good on this map. We've seen him take down Rafa a couple of times on Vale. So he's definitely shown.
It's not easy for the Galena now to, you know, have to go up against the kill, because the frags need to be almost all long range. Oh, again, another clutch shot by RMV. He's winning all of these clutch battles, because like the Galena, unless it's a close long range fight, she's not gonna get a clean frag versus a kill ever. So even if Maxter does get the kill, it's not likely that he can get another one in quick succession.
And the good thing is for RMV, the direct and the rail combo straight after us, and back-to-back rails. Literally, 280 damage through that little segment there, as if he managed to get away with that. 6-0 lead here.
Just clutching it again and again. It's like 3 clutch shots in a row. RMV and Maxter knows he needs to start getting kills, and eventually one of his attacks do pan out, and he gets his first kill in the game right before the Mega. I think Maxter will want to play this slightly faster.
So he will do, and he's literally caught him off guard with the rail. That should be a done deal there. Yeah, there we go. That's going to be the second frag for Maxter. But the good thing for RMV is the fact that it just shows that the first map did not phase him at all in the slightest. He just knew that he had to go a little bit more clutch to him, drops down the totem, does a little bit more with the LG. Back to 54 HP. Good for RMV considering the stack difference he is at the moment. And has thrown the totem up, done a little bit more damage with the LG. 40 HP. Tried to dive on in, and manages to clean that up before Maxter did that.
That's a really good attack, because like the attack wasn't supposed to kill him. To kill Maxter, the attack was just, this allows me to get time so I can get the heavy and then push for the Mega, and he did that perfectly. So really good train of thought there by RMV. Another close range fight, and RMV actually goes away this time around, which I think it's fine, because if he got the frag and he was low, I think Maxter could have gotten the heavy, so this kind of favors RMV a little bit.
Certainly does. Pineapples for days here. 4 minutes in, I kind of feel like it's been 10 minutes already. It's been that chaotic, especially for these items. Zarmi just trying to do the best he can here, waiting for him to go back through. I was thinking that as well at one stage, considering how aggressive both these players were, especially Maxter potentially coming through. But
I mean, Maxter is like 5 HP. Does get one of the light armors, a little bit of health. He wants to go for more rail angles, but RMV is the one hitting them this time around. He's playing out of his mind. I mean, taking down maxter, even if it's only on one map, would be a really big accomplishment for RMV. And right now, he's in the driver's seat. maxter trying to come down, but oh my god, another amazing flick shot by RMV.
Just trying to counteract everything RMV's doing at the moment, but the problem is maxter is also very weak after that last bout around Mega. Heavy is up, will be taken by maxter. 5 frag deficit, but the way things have been going, maxter definitely has a chance to try and come back in this, but RMV's been looking super strong from the get-go.
maxter's starting to build a little bit more of momentum now, especially with that both major items cleanly picked up. So one of the rare occasions where Galina actually overstacks a kill. Let's see if he's actually going to try and push his advantage right now. RMV waiting, and maxter catches him off guard, but maxter not with the right weapon now. A really rare mistake to see from the Argentinian player, and allows RMV to actually steal the heavy. Well, this is like the biggest mistake I've seen from maxter in like, I don't know, 6 months? Just shows how few mistakes he actually does in his gameplay.
Yeah, that's true. Little room for error, especially at this level. Still got just over 4 minutes left. RMV just trying to back him down a little bit with the rockets. A bit of a sprinkle with the LG is now RMV just rotating back around. Heavy is up, Mega's up in the next 10 seconds. So he's got to try and make a choice here. Decides to try and do a little bit of damage with the rockets, but it's not going to be a huge amount here as maxter just dives on in with the super shotty. 4 minutes left and maxter slowly but surely closing the gap as things have settled down a bit since the start of the game.
Yeah, I think that frag was really important because now RMV still has good stack, but he does not have all of the weapons, and that's what maxter is going to be trying to capitalize, trying to be going for those frags when RMV goes for the rocket, or he can actually go for, you know, close range fights now. He does allow RMV to get both the rockets, and I don't think RMV has a LG yet though, so that's still fine. maxter, time is starting to run out. It's 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes remaining. 4 frags to go versus a heavy champion. Just fine. RMV, oh, it's a pineapple. And the rail right after as the heavy is about to spawn. Not sure if maxter can actually go for the heavy right now, or he's just going to give it away to RMV. There's RMV, and that's an easy pickup. maxter actually switches weapon.
Yeah, I thought maxter was going to be way out of position to try and contest it, but RMV a little bit delayed going for it, but the main thing is he does manage to bag it in the end anyway. Heavy up in 15. We're going to see how both these players are going to try and contest this with RMV actually directly underneath. maxter finds it. This could be a full fragger. Consider the amount of rails he's hitting here. Hits 3 for 3. Not too bad at all. 2.5 minutes left. maxter still has time.
I was going to say I don't see a way for maxter back in, but then RMV just basically goes AFK in the lower light and gets railed 3 times, and now maxter has a chance of coming back in as he gets yet another frag. 2 minutes to go. 2 frags for maxter to tie up the game, and yes, complete control. Has a good amount of stack as well. All of the weapons that he needs. Can he find RMV? He doesn't need to. RMV comes chasing. Why is RMV here right now? He's taking so much damage. 5 seconds for the heavy to be up, and RMV, he comes back up. He wants to fight, and I don't know if that's the correct choice right now for RMV. I think he might be a little frustrated after the last frags not going in his way, but it's all about the clutch shot right now. Both players are very low HP. Mega is about to spawn in 3 seconds. RMV decides to go away. He knows he still has the lead, even though it's a very, very thin lead.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. Maybe he's just trying to abuse his starting stack with the kill, not really too sure, but yeah, maybe he's showing a little bit of frustration, but of course he may be in that kind of chaotic mode where he's just trying to keep things scrappy and try and make sure that if maxter does take him down, it won't be the cleanest of frags here, but Max is more than prepared for this as RMV does back away, does let him go for the TP, takes a little bit of damage in the meantime as he drops them down.
RMV 1 minute to go. He needs to start getting those lights as well. I think he'll be able to collect another one right now. And maxter smartly withering down his stack. maxter is fine. Like, maxter doesn't want the frag right now. He's going to get it though. The plan was to do some damage and go back to his light armor, go back to the heavy. But he ended up getting the stack, and RMV, oh no, he doesn't even get the heavy, and maxter is now getting all of the kills, and RMV with 1 minute to go somehow loses the lead that he had. And now he's watching his world crumble in front of him. Is he gonna win the fight with such Bad odds now.
Complete role reversal compared to what we saw at the very beginning, as RMV was currently up 6-0 at one stage.
Yeah, I didn't think maxter was going to be able to turn this around, but I gotta say, there's been a lot of mistakes after RMV was in the lead. He kept trying to fight, he kept trying to, you know, fight maxter. That was, oh my god, there's so much damage by maxter. And RMV now is forced to fight and couldn't quite get the result he wanted in those fights. So maxter is going to be, oh, can he do something? He gets the frag, but I don't think there's enough time. maxter should surely delay the spawn and be called the victor of this matchup. So maxter 2-0 versus RMV.
Yeah, kind of close in the end. After all that, RMV was up 6-0 and maxter managed to make a clutch comeback, but RMV was playing incredible during that first half of Vale. It was insane some of the stuff he was doing. And, you know, one way to beat someone who's being that clutch, just be more clutch.
That's it.
Literally, it was at the very beginning.
If you want to kill your opponent, just hit more shots, and that's what he was doing. He was winning all of the clutch situations in the beginning. Eventually, it seems that the focus got the better of him, and maxter started coming back. But the score at the end, it's a one-frag game. It shows how close the map was. And I'm very impressed with RMV's performance that match.
Yeah, he kept the series very competitive. It's just a shame the second map didn't go in the way he would like to.
Yeah.
Because we're just going to go through the replay now. We can see exactly how RMV managed to perform so well at the beginning. And yeah, it literally was just another montage reel between the two, considering what we saw there. We saw RMV able to abuse his stack in more times than not. maxter was trying to like at least fit in some chip damage, which he struggled. But the turnaround was definitely like after slowly but surely maxter was able to clutch up one frag here and there. We saw a huge amount of aggression coming out from RMV, especially from the rail side, and even maxter was a little bit surprised. Yeah, the 280 there was just nuts.
That was great, and this is when he started to turn around, and maxter was able to catch him off guard here, still with a lot of time to go. And it was again the exact same frag, like just a minute later.
Certainly was. Maybe if RMV changed his style and try not to be too aggressive on some of the respawns he was on, maybe it could have been a different story. Maybe he was just trying to contest the items, or maybe he was trying to do more chip or abuse his silence stack. It could be a number of things there, but it was just a little bit unfortunate.
This is where the game really turned around for me. Like RMV gets completely caught off guard in this position, and then he decides to like they just shows like some lack of awareness really, because when you're not sure where your opponent is, just listen out, wait for him to make a sound cue, because if you're not listening to him, he's probably trying to make a trap on you, right? And that's exactly what happened. And after that, RMV might have gotten a little bit tilted, kept fighting, and maxter eventually was able to take the win.
Yeah, that heavy stop as well was, again, a bit of a shame. maxter just managed to catch him in the LG to stop it, and then we see just finish things up. And there we have it. So, maxter, commiserations to RMV though. Great performance nonetheless, but maxter will take that series 2-0, and it will also be progressing into the winners semi-finals. But I do believe, though, we do have an interview with maxter to see what he thought about the series.
Well, maxter, congratulations on winning the last game, round 3. It was pretty tight at the second game, but what a comeback, man. You showed your skills, you showed why you are the top 3 in the world. So tell us, how did you do?
Well, first of all, thanks for this opportunity. It's like the first time we meet each other, all the way, like the first time we talk to each other. But talking about the game, I don't know, I was just focused, I kept focused the whole game. I knew that Vale was one of his strongest map, and I mean, at the beginning he was just hitting everything, and I just tried to focus on slowing down the tempo of the game a bit more and trying to just feel a little bit more the game, because I felt like I was out of the game the second map, but once my shots started to connect, I started to control a little bit more of the map, and well, the comeback just came by itself.
Yeah, RMV was very consistent in the second map. He has been a great opponent, but now on round 4 and 5, you will have even harder opponents to beat. So how would you set yourself for those games? How would you prepare those games?
To be honest, now it's time to just to rest and see what's my next opponent is gonna be. It might be Chain or CNZ, I think, if I'm not wrong. And I'm just going to enjoy their match and see how they are doing on LAN. I mean, none of those players, neither of them, sorry. I never play against them on LAN, so it's gonna be amazing in either way.
Just one last question. How's the feeling with the LAN server? You know, this party is all held in a LAN server. How is that feeling?
Oh, it's feeling amazing. I mean, the fact that we can have a LAN server here in Spain and pros and no pros, like casual players or challengers, are coming to play on LAN, like in our home, it's truly amazing. Like the way that people is truly excited by having the opportunity to play on LAN, on Quake Champions. Like we feel like we are just breaking that barrier, basically, not being elitist anymore. Like everyone can play on LAN again.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for your time and your words, and congratulations again for round 3. So that was Maxter. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, guys. And I think there was a key words there, is the fact that he had to make sure that second map to slow down the tempo. He knew that the situation was getting way too out of hand. He had to slow it down. He did, and then managed to get one frag each time. But when it was his turn to have full control, his turn to have positional advantage every single time, he was able to literally let things spiral out of control for him. And RMV was just struggling to try and figure out a way to try and counteract that. But let's have a look at the winners bracket so far. If you guys are just joining us at the moment, you can see that the winners semis, it is going to be a potential, or will be, a Maestro team kill. It will be Razy versus Zenaku in the first set winners semis, and in the second set of the winners semis, maxter is going to be waiting upon Chain and CNZ. So either player between the two, it should be interesting to see how maxter does against them.
Yeah, definitely. And maxter did say two very interesting words, two very interesting sentences in the interview. It was slowing down the pace of the game that he needed to do, and then the comeback kind of came to him, which shows also how aggressive RMV was being. Maxter didn't have to go out of his way to find him.
Yeah, it's just incredible. And RMV, like, you know, I look forward to see the future for him and see how he does throughout the loser back of his competition, but of course in future competitions as well. And I did feel like Vale was one of his best matches because he did very well against Dramas,
which is weird.
KeenCon as well.
Vale usually doesn't favor aggressive players, but I mean, if you're hitting the clutch shots, I guess.
The main thing is it makes it work. That's obviously the main point. But yeah, of course, guys, we do have another match coming up in the last set of the winners bracket, round 3. It will be between Chain and CNZ. So guys, don't go anywhere, as we'll be back in just a few.